Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast, Super Bowl preview edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who will always pick Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame for the first round. Here's Douglas!
Yeah, to me, Stu is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, it's hard to win the most Super Bowls, like second most games in NFL history, and still not be a first ballot. But I mean, also he was semi-controversial, but I don't think that should have been enough to keep him out. But,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and I guess we'll probably discuss this with the first week before we start this. So there was some controversy in the NFL this week where Bill Belichick or Robert Kraft was not selected for the first round to make it to the Hall of Fame right now. Both of those men. I gotta say, it's ridiculous. Why are you not going to let Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame? I know people are upset about Spygate. I know people are upset about Deflategate. But the guy won 6 Super Bowls and made it like 10 times to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's pretty impressive. And don't get me started on telling me it was only Brady that did it. It's like, no, it was Brady and Belichick that basically got into those rings.
Yeah, I mean, the only small argument that you could make is that Brady won one in Tampa and kind of Belichick flamed out after Brady left. But, like, even then, I mean, he has 6. He was still the head football coach for all 6 of those titles. Robert Kraft was the owner for all 6. And I mean, to me personally, you lose some credibility from the Hall of Fame on that one. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to view the Hall of Fame as being credible if you're going to keep out like who somebody who's arguably considered the best coach. I mean, not even probably arguably. I'd say most people would put him as their best coach of all time.
Like, if I had to put like my Mount Rushmore of coaches in the Super Bowl era, I would put Vince Lombardi in there, Chuck Noll for the Steelers. I'd probably put Bill Parcells for the Giants. I know it's a random one for the '80s, but I feel like you do that. You got to have Jimmy. I think about if I had to put for the '90s, you got to put Jimmy Johnson, just because of those 3 Super Bowls. Even though he won 2 back to back, but I'm just saying. And then I would put Belichick in there. Like, if you had to put like your Hall of Fame, that's your Mount Rushmore, like that's your coaches, that's your trifecta.
I feel like you listed 5.
Yeah.
How many people are Mount Rushmore? 4?
I'm trying to think. So I think it might be 5. No, it is 5.
No, it is 5. Well, perfect then.
Yeah, if I had to put like my 5, it would probably be that. Like, you wouldn't disagree with that.
I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, I have to look into it more. I mean, did you say the Dolphins coach? You said Don Shula, right?
No, actually, I put Chuck Noll on there because he has those back to back. He won 4 Super Bowls. Granted,
Okay.
2 against the Cowboys, but I felt like Chuck Noll. If you think of the '70s, it's the Steel Curtain and it's the Steelers and the
Yeah.
Cowboys.
No, it's also fair. I mean, I don't have a ton of thoughts because I don't really know coaches all that well. But I mean, I do know for a fact that Belichick has the most Super Bowls out of any of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically like. I feel like that they should put Belichick. He should be a gimme. It's a gimme. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would say it should be a gimme. Like, it is fairly like Robert Kraft, like, okay, like whatever. I mean, I'm not as passionate about the owner side of things. Granted, he did play a role in it, but like Belichick was also the GM for a lot of it, from my understanding too. So like he also, helped create the roster and all those other aspects of it. And so like he had a little bit of a piece of every, kind of aspect of those teams during that tenure. And
Yeah,
so it's not like he was just a coach, he was that's tough.
yeah. I mean, and like I said, technically, I would say he has 8 Super Bowls because he won 2 as a coordinator for the Giants during Bill
Yeah.
Parcells. Yeah, Bill Parcells years.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely a bummer. I mean, I know personally I don't value the Hall of Fame the same that I once did personally. Like, I just think it's kind of a little bit of a slap in the face to the organization if you're not going to put a guy of that caliber. I mean, I don't really care if he makes it next time. It's more like this should have been the easiest decision.
This should have been the layoff. I feel like if and let's hear me out when Brady gets in, if Brady's going to be in the first time, let's just say 5, like that will be 2. I'm trying to think. That has to be 3 years from now. Like, if they don't let Brady in, I'm going to be like, you guys are a joke.
I mean, yeah, Brady should be another slam dunk one. This one, I mean, yeah, it should have been about as easy as it gets. I would have been more shocked. I got more shocked that it wasn't unanimous. Almost like I thought it would have been like 100%. So I'm more surprised that it didn't reach 100%. Then it fell below 80. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it was like 40 out of 50. It was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Are people that butthurt? And I will say this: there's teams have always been cheating. The shitty fucking Browns 10 years ago had a cell phone gate and only win 4 games that season. Let's put it that way. The Browns tried to cheat and they couldn't win more than 4 games.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, and I wonder too if he tarnished his legacy and pissed people off in the process. But at the end of the day, he didn't make it, and it kind of is what it is. But it just not a good look.
No, I don't think it's a good. I definitely do feel like it's not a good look. Not a good look in the league. I mean, I feel like the same thing as I feel about the Pro Bowl, where it's like, you're kidding me? Shador's going to be there. I think the Pro Bowl is kind of what is more of a joke? The Hall of Fame right now or the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, kind of both. I mean, something that I was seeing that was interesting was there was an article, and this is kind of related, but about LeBron making his next his last basically All-Star appearance this year. He got picked as kind of a sub or something. And they were like, it doesn't really matter because he has a full legacy and it's about entertainment. But for Shador, it's kind of hard to see a guy that played only a handful of games and didn't play particularly well in those games. It's kind of a slap in the face of players that really were deserving of it almost just because his dad it feels like nepotism almost.
Yeah, it's very much nepo babyism. But I always have to say it. I think even before Shador, I mean, the Pro Bowl's kind of been a joke. I don't think a lot of the people like Josh Allen doesn't want to do it. Lamar would never want to do it now. I feel like a lot of these main character do not, want to do the Pro Bowl. I feel like it's always kind of who wants to do it? Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I
saying.
mean, and that's the thing. It doesn't really hold very much weight right now.
No, I just feel like it's kind of a joke, and I feel like it's been a joke since probably the mid 2000s in that sense, where it used to be an honor, and now probably a lot more people are like, I don't want to really try as hard. I don't want to injure myself. I always think
Well, I
about
mean,
that.
it's literally flag football. They
Yeah,
literally have now made it where it's just flag.
yeah. I could not even tell you what was the score. Could you tell me what happened in that game?
No, I mean, I don't think I couldn't tell you the last time I actually watched one and put it on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that. Who cares on that one? But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
we got to do the final 2 eulogies and a proper thing. Brr, brr, brr. Brr, brr, brr. We salute the final 2 that couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. We're going to start out with the Denver Broncos, where, interestingly enough, we had a very much a discussion right over here of Broncos country. So I pretty much said, I honestly am shocked that Bo Nix made it to the postseason last year, which I was very true. I actually thought that Bo Nix was actually Rookie of the Year, but it turns out it was Jaden Daniels. I was wrong, but they got curb stomp of the Bills last year. But I felt honestly I wasn't mad because they made it that far. Looking ahead, I thought the Bills would actually make the wild card, but I didn't see them get the sophomore. I didn't see the sophomore slump for Bo Nix, which I was right. I know we're joking about college. He's been college forever. We had a joke Bo Nix has been forever, forever, ever. But I thought they were going to win any playoff games. The Texans, no. The Bills, no. Steelers, yes. Actually, it's kind of funny because I thought they were going to lose to the Steelers. The Bills. Turns out the Bills were not that great. And Bengals are 50-50. And for me, I actually gave them a 6 and a 10-7. And I thought they would be really good, still competitive, possible playoff game. Christopher thought a bit lower, but he put them at a 6, which means 9-8. He thought this team was solid, but was not fully convinced, not next step yet, and does think that this NFC West team, these 3 teams will make the playoffs. He also bet me that he's taking the Chargers, gladly picked the Chargers to finish the better record than the Broncos. And I'm feeling it. Douglas was the biggest. You were very much a defense. You thought they were really good defense. Young quarterback was showing an elite efficiency. You saw some advanced stats, but didn't remember them. But Bo Nix's efficiency stood out for him. But I got a piece of there. Because of this, I'm going bold. I think the Broncos will win a playoff game this year. You gave an 11-6, which was a 7, and you said Sean Payton's the guy. Bo Nix 34 touchdowns as a rookie, which is insane. Broncos country, let's ride.
Yeah.
But it's like this is the most Denver thing, and they did good. But honestly, I feel like they basically exceeded our expectations and Chris's expectations. Douglas, you did actually were the closest. They actually went 12-5, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they did go 12-5. They did win a playoff game. They made it all the way, but unfortunately, Bo Nix got hurt and got that Bills game, and that kind of like. And then, granted, I think even in this game against the Patriots, they were really, really good. It's just the snow, and unfortunately, you had a backup quarterback that only played 4 games. What are you supposed to do?
I mean, I do think that with Bo Nix, I do think they would have won this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely do feel like they could have been a much more of an interesting shot. I honestly feel like if Bo Nix would not gotten hurt, I think it would have been an interesting game. I don't know if they would have won this game, but I definitely do think it would have been a much more. This one was a very competitive game right over here, to be frank. Like, I definitely don't think this was like wow, this was like, I thought it was going to be a blowout. We were technically all correct that we did not pick the Broncos to make it past this round. So we're 100%. But, it's good for you. I mean, hopefully Bo Nix is going to be better for next week. I'm hoping that he does a really good job. I feel like they exceeded their expectations. I can't get mad about this. Like, though it is interesting that the coordinator got fired from the Broncos. And how do you feel about that, Douglas? Sean Payton firing one of their coordinators.
I mean, I don't know, but I get it. Because, I mean, I do think that this was a very defensive-led team this year. And, I mean, the offense underachieved. And I think Sean Payton's a guy that he's later in his career. He knows what it takes to win a Super Bowl as he has won one before. And so, I mean, if he didn't feel that this was the guy to get them there, he's gained enough trust for me in what he's done in a short time. So, I mean, it sucks for that guy, but also, I mean, granted, you're without Bo Nix in a snow game, but the offense wasn't really why they won the division this year.
No, I definitely do think they need more. I think they need to fix a few things. I think they need a few more weapons, fix a few things, and then try to get this one all fixed and ready to go. Like, I do feel like they just need to tweak a little bit more of the offense, and I think they could be dangerous and deadly.
Yeah, I mean, they were very close. I mean, they're probably one injury away from a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and I think it's just sometimes it's luck. I honestly feel like sometimes making the Super Bowl is just a little bit of luck. You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, the Patriots have certainly benefited from some luck this year.
Yes. But it is going to be interesting because I do feel like once this is going to be the test. Like, if they do win this Super Bowl, I will say it, then they can probably say, hey, we beat the number 1 defense right over here. This was not luck for us.
I mean, if they win the Super Bowl, all things that I've said in previous ones, 100% absolved, but that's a big if. It's a big if.
That's a if. And I think it depends. Also, if it is a closer game, then maybe we can be like, okay, this team is actually looking good. I mean, if it's a blowout and they lose like 20, or if it's like the Super Bowl last year and they just get blown out by like 20 or 30 points, okay, then everyone's going to be like, oh, this is luck, blah, 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 blah.
Well, and I do want to put it on the record, by all means, I think the Patriots are legit. I just think they've also been incredibly lucky with their schedule, the timing of the teams when they get to play them. So, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not deserving, but I'm also like, I mean, they beat good teams throughout the year, too. It's not like they just,
Yeah, I mean, like their first, when we did our contender series, Buffalo Bills was their first, like, test, and they won that game. Like, that's impressive. Beating them at Buffalo. That's really impressive. So it wasn't like all cupcakes schedule. Though I will say, I don't think they got a soft schedule, in my opinion. I think it was more a lot of teams that we thought were going to be good. The Ravens, they sucked. The Buccaneers, they sucked. So there's a lot of teams that I think they should have had a little bit of a tougher schedule than what actually happened, if that kind of makes sense.
I mean, possibly, and that's where the luck comes in too. Because I mean, getting to play a Ravens team that ended up firing their head coach, getting to play, Buccaneers team that collapsed. It's like that's part of the luck too. I mean, you don't really know going into the season, but I
Yeah.
mean, at
And
the end
also,
of the day, though, I mean, they do have a top 10 easiest schedule in like NFL history.
they did beat the Texans, so that's at least a good, that's a notch on them in the playoffs right there. I know Texas is a dome team and that's a Southern team, but still, that was a
Yeah,
top 10 defense, and they beat them by 12. So in their
yeah,
post, so you can't say that it was just all luck, but
yeah. No, I mean, their defense forced 5 turnovers in that game.
yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And I mean, for the Broncos, I just got to say it. Broncos country. Let's ride.
All right now.
Ride. But the ride will never end because you guys, unfortunately, except for Bo Nick's injury, the ride never ends on that one. And then we got the LA Rammies. So interestingly enough, when we did our previews for the Rams, I basically said, it's interesting the Stafford era. He's won a Super Bowl, traded away, bottom like to the worst, and then like the team kind of got really bad, bounced back the last couple of years, made a postseason. Interesting enough, they were very close to the Eagles. That was like the only game in the postseason they actually were close in that whole playoffs when the Eagles were playing in that Super Bowl. Also, I did not believe Jimmy Garoppolo was still in the league. Shocking. I didn't even know Tim Boyle wasn't still in the league. But interestingly enough, this was when there was concerns about Matthew Stafford's shoulder, and I expected him to play and to lead the team. But there's still core pieces under Sean McVay, and there's still consistency found to turn out the season for the slow start. The last 2 years, especially, they wrote off the last week 4, week 5. They surged after the bye week and they made some noise. Because of this, I gave them an 11-6, winning the division, and a 7 and a Super Bowl contenders. They might be a top 10, top 5 NFL team right now if things break right. I also talk about Stafford's long term. Like, how long can Stafford last? And I said realistically 1 or 2 years left. You said if they did win the Super Bowl, then Stafford might leave. You were very optimistic, Douglas. You talked about the loaded of things of Matthew Stafford, Kenneth Williams, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. Emphasize the dangerous of Puka could be a top 5 wide receiver. You brought up the competitiveness of the Rams last season, especially the overtime against the loss against the Lions early in the season. They came close in a deep playoff run. You emphasized how good this team looks while Stafford was dealing with injuries. Because of this, you were very bold. You gave the Rams a 7, predicted a 12-5 record, and believed this team is heavy. If they're healthy and clicking, they could be legitimately dangerous. And you praised Sean McVay, calling him the next best coach in the league, clearly behind Andy Reid, but firmly in the next tier. Douglas sees McVay as someone who could find a way to maximize a roster, even with a major lost star of Aaron Donald. And Christopher was the most skeptical part about it. He was thinking this team was like doing okay, but he was kind of a little bit concerned about the roster in fantasy football. He fully didn't trust the team, especially mentioning loving guys like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams in fantasy, but not necessarily buying them in the season. He predicted the 49ers would win the division and said the Rams would actually take a step backwards. He pointed out Stafford's age, injuries, and uncertainty around keeping him in a higher level. Because of this, he gave him a 5, predicted a 8-9 record, or something about that. But he hesitated. But he thought the talent was obvious. So interestingly enough, in reality, this team did go 14-3. They did absolutely amazing. They made it basically exceeded our expectations. I think me and you, Douglas, were actually correct on their prediction. They made it all the way to the NFC Championship, but they were just super close, and they just couldn't do it. Basically, the Rams were really good. It was 2 best teams, and unfortunately, the Seahawks were better, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they unfortunately ran into a perfect game from Sam Darnold, and that was the the difference. And I mean, I talked to a podcast a few weeks prior to this, and I was basically saying whoever won that Thursday night game and got home field advantage would have the advantage. I mean, if this game was in LA, it might have gone towards the Rams, but this game was in Seattle, the 12th man, and that could have been the difference in their season was like that one, game where they were up 16 points late and they choked it away to the Seahawks. And that unfortunately might have been their whole season. I mean, this team clearly has the talent to win the Super Bowl, but like you said, sometimes it takes luck, some bounces, and if Stafford comes back, I mean, they're among the short list of favorites again next year. But
yeah, and I guess that's a good point. We should probably ask this, Douglas. How many years left? So he's 37 right now, going to be 38 next year. I mean, the end of this year. I mean, for this year. How many years do you think Stafford does have? He's looking amazing. I mean, to be fair, like at 38, he's looking good. Like I always think about it, and I was thinking about it when I was listening to this. We had people like Big Ben and Eli Manning and Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, like who's in the tail end of their career. They just look like dog shit. And then you still have Stafford, who's still looking amazing at 38, still looking as great, like the same level as like a Bo Nix, a Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? Brock Purdy. He's still in that league.
Well, I mean, I think it's completely up to him. I mean, I do think that his goal is to win one more Super Bowl. So I think it might depend on that. I mean, I think probably he's realistically got 2 more years of like solid level that he could do. I mean, the injuries are going to catch up to him. I mean, he's had a bad back. He's had he's gone through some shoulder stuff. So, I mean, I think it's ultimately going to depend on him. But, I mean, I would be shocked to see him go into his 40s. Like, I think he's going to give it 1 or 2 more tries at the Super Bowl. And if he doesn't, then he'll probably hang the cleats up.
Yeah, and I think it's going to depend on those last 2 years. If he's still being this elite level and still making those championships, yeah. But if he does like a regression, like really bad, I think he'll probably hang it up. Which I'm kind of glad. I feel like there's so many quarterbacks, I feel like in their tail end of their career where they just look like dog shit. And I just feel like you forget how good, Big Ben was or Aaron Rodgers was or Eli Manning was or Russell Wilson was in their prime of their career. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I feel like sometimes those people probably need to hang it up.
Father time comes for us all. And Stafford doesn't seem like the type to me that's going to stay too long. But I do think that ultimately he's the type of guy to me that wants to really end on a Super Bowl championship.
Yeah, and I definitely do.
It's kind of unfortunate too because I do think that either the Rams or the Seahawks would be solid favorites against the Patriots. So
yeah, I think both teams would be solid favorites, and I would always say it. The Rams, we're really close in this game. I don't feel like there's really maybe just a little bit of tweaks here and there, but I feel like if you just keep the same roster in that team, you could make it to the Super Bowl again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the talent's there.
The talent is there. I cannot think of anything that they need to majorly change if you're the Rams right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this team looks legit. This team probably could make a Super Bowl. Like, I think probably like last year, I think the last couple years, and I probably do say this, and I know I'm repeating myself again, but I feel like the last couple years has pretty much shown Stafford definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think just being this consistent and all that stuff. And I hate to say it, Douglas, it should be for the Rams, not for the Lions.
Dude, you can say it. You repeat yourself. That's fine. You said it a bunch, and I've never disagreed with you.
I think literally his success is because of the LA Rams.
Well, I mean, he was successful in Detroit. We don't need to have that conversation again. We've had that conversation.
Yes, I know that flag. You're still triggered by that flag.
I'm not triggered by it. I just don't want to have the same convo again.
Yeah.
We've talked through Stafford's Hall of Fame resume multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, definitely I will say. But it's still, like, impressive that, Stafford has done really good. Like, honestly, you would never thought that, like, Stafford, like, at 38 would still be this primed and good right now at 37.
No, I mean, there was definitely concerns because you hearing what you said about Chris's things. Like, there is a world in which he was very accurate this season too, where Stafford didn't get healthy. Like, I know in the beginning of the year they're saying he's getting a bunch of injections for his back and for his shoulder. So I mean, it's hard to envision him going too much longer. When father time is knocking on the door, unfortunately. So I hope obviously I want the Lions to win it, but I wouldn't mind seeing Stafford win one more too. So we'll see how it finishes out though.
Yeah, it sucks that somehow Father Time is 100% success rate. How can
Yeah.
it be? How can it be in this one? But I mean,
It's a darn shame. Thankful we have so many young quarterbacks to take the lantern, and Stafford can retire with his girls and and his beautiful family and go live life. He's been blessed, and his wife, I think beat brain cancer. So
yeah,
go
good for her.
enjoy retirement when it happens, Mr. Stafford, and have all the great experiences with your kids.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Stafford's always going to be loved in Detroit no matter what. Like he will
To
probably.
some extent, I mean, if I will say, if like Goff goes out and wins the Lions a Super Bowl, I think the adoration for Stafford might fade a little bit more, unfortunately. But like, there's always a part of us that'll be grateful for what Stafford did, and like the quality of like human being that he is, and the competitiveness that he brings to the team.
Yeah, but also I will say it. I still got those receipts when people were blaming Stafford for those Lions years, and I was like, remember when people were saying that it was Stafford's fault that Detroit never could win a playoff game?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of things that were unfortunate, and finally we got the ownership that we needed that was going to commit to the team, and people that were the right people in the organization that were committed to success.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do agree. I mean, definitely the organization I feel like is a lot better. I will say, like when I remember that tree lolcow video, just talk about the Lions in 2019, it was like, my God, this team was a fucking tire fire.
Mm-hmm.
It was like,
Well, until they recently did a ranking of the top coaching hires in the last like 5 years, and it was honestly a touch controversial to me. And this is going to be this I'm not trying to trigger you here, Stu, because I was shocked to see Dan Campbell's number one, but being there over Nick Sirianni kind of shocked me, because Nick Sirianni has won a Super Bowl, and so I'm like, it's hard to put Nick Sirianni, and I think Vrabel and like Mike McDonald were right up there too. But it's like, to me, you got to make the championship to really be up at the top tier. Like what Dan Campbell's done for the Lions has been amazing, but also one of them took a team and won a Super Bowl and made another Super Bowl. So it's
yeah,
like,
um, though, I bet you it's all those disgruntled Eagles fans that probably put in this poll be like, Sirianni fucking sucks. I want him gone. It's probably, if I had to guess it, in my Cowboys bias opinion, I will say it. Like I feel like the short
I
term
mean,
memory.
the reason that I root against a city like Philadelphia, Stu, is just because they are unsatiable. It's like, if the city of Detroit won a Super Bowl, there's no way in heck we're booing the team the first game of the next season. Like, I
No,
don't care how bad they look. I don't care. Like, that is
you're putting a
kind of classic. Yeah, like
you're
that's
putting
classic to me.
yeah, you're putting a statue of Dan Campbell after they win that Super Bowl, and you're putting a statue in
Well,
golf.
well, that's the thing. And like, if they don't do anything else in their careers, fine, they got us over the hump. Like that's like, be grateful. Like, I don't like when like it just comes across as ungrateful, and like like every team wants to win the Super Bowl every year, but when you actually do it, you don't then just turn around and boo your team when they don't.
Yeah, though I will
But
say this: if the Lions did win 3 Super Bowls in like a decade or next decade, you would be so cancerous. Every fan base can be cancerous.
oh, I mean, every fan base can turn. And I saw this. Do you ever watch Sunday Conversation with Caleb Presley?
I've
Do
heard
you
of
know
it,
what
but
that
I'm
is?
not.
He had Fernando Mendoza on there, the Heisman Trophy
Oh,
winning quarterback, and they were talking about Kurt Signetti, and basically how right now Kurt Signetti is like probably the most beloved coach in America. What he did with his turnaround, but he's like, if he goes out and wins 2 or 3 more national titles, he's going to quickly become hated. Like,
oh
people
yeah.
like an underdog story, but nobody wants that underdog to then become so dominant that it's not fun. So it's like, it's a really thin line. Like, if the Lions win a Super Bowl, it'll be the best story. But if they win 3, people are gonna be like tired of this team immediately.
I mean, look at Kansas City. They were the lovable underdogs before they won their first Super Bowl. They're like, man, this team hasn't won a Super Bowl in like 50 years. I feel bad for this team. Blah 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 blah. It's been since 1970, and then it's just like they win, and then they win another one, and then they win another one, and then it's like this team is cancerous.
Yep, it becomes insufferable. Like, we want new blood in there. So I mean, we don't want the teams to repeat. Fans want to see new teams win it. New fan bases want to be able to experience that joy. So
Yeah, I mean,
But
look at the
obviously every
Dodgers.
fan, like I want the Lions to win every one, but like I also as a fan of the league, I prefer when it's like different every year.
I mean, look at baseball and the Dodgers right now. It's like, I mean, granted, the Dodgers are a different story because it's just like they always kind of had this like there's some fan bases that love it, and then everyone else is like, I fucking hate this team because they're so good.
Well, I mean, I hate it just because they can just simply spend like more than the Caribbean island, but like whatever.
But hey, we'll get to that one. It's the summertime, baby. But anyway, I just gotta say one thing: they rammed it, not to the
So
Super
you,
Bowl. So this is gonna be the interesting one here, gentlemen. We got two picks right over here. The New England Patriots, a team, and it's gonna be interesting. So we're gonna do our Super Bowl preview right here. One team right over here. You know, it's been a long while since the evil empire came back. 7 years. No Lombardis in 7 years. My nephews, they're 3 and 2. They're 3 and 4 years old. They've not seen a world where Bill Belichick or Tom Brady or the New England Patriots have won a Super Bowl in their lifetime. It's
you
so
know,
sad. Those poor babies.
well, Stu, at least they've gotten to see the Wolverines and Buckeyes win one.
Oh yes, they were very happy. They're like, "Goo goo gaga, oh chayo, yeah, goo goo gaga,
Exactly.
yeah." But this is actually going to be because I bet you're going to think the same thing, Douglas. You probably are going to give this team a 9.
Yeah, I mean, I think almost everybody in America is. I mean, you consider all the factors. I mean, what's Drake May finally started doing full throwing sessions, like I think yesterday. And so, like, granted, this is a good 2 weeks to get healthy, but it's also like, man, they're going into it a little bit banged up. They haven't looked particularly good or dominant per se in any game. Drake May has been kind of like, oh, like he was so good in the regular season, but like he's kind of relied so heavily on his defense in the postseason.
Yeah,
And the Seahawks aren't a team that they can beat like that. Like the
no,
Seahawks have a defense that's better than yours and probably an offense that's better than yours. Like I think the Seahawks are better on both sides of the ball.
but I got okay, and I probably will agree with you. I think the Seattle Seahawks will win this one. I think this will be their revenge game. But we should do a scenario. Okay, you're the New England Patriots right now.
Yeah.
What do you do to win this Super Bowl? To beat Seattle? I think the only thing I
Um,
could think of is put some pressure on Sam Darnold and make him do turnovers.
I mean that's 100% the recipe. I mean, you speed up Sam Darnold. I mean, and you have to make him look like CJ Stroud out there. I mean
Yeah,
that is your recipe. I mean, your recipe is you rely heavily on the defense and hope that Drake May can put up 17 points on this elite Seattle defense.
yeah,
Um, I mean, so Mike McDonald, I am a fan of him. He was a defensive coordinator at the University of Michigan for the Baltimore Ravens. Um, I think you give him 2 weeks to prepare that defense, and it is really hard to imagine the Patriots doing much on offense. So they really are going to have to hope that they can, like you said, I mean, you nailed the recipe. You got to get a couple of turnovers from Sam Darnold,
maybe even
find a way to slow down JSN.
yeah. Honestly, maybe a pick also. Like that would probably be like a good like help right over there. Like
Yeah,
you need turnovers. You need to turnovers.
I mean,
You need to make
yeah,
sure it's Sam Darnold against Detroit or Sam Darnold against the Rams. You
yeah.
know,
I mean,
or
I think it also comes down to the line of scrimmage, like most games do. Because I mean, if they can somehow control the line of scrimmage, maybe have a run game, and they're going to need to kind of slow the game down. I think too. Like you need your running backs to really have a nice game here. You can't rely on Drake May.
no,
Um, you know,
no, definitely not. You can definitely not rely on Drake Lane. But I feel like you just need that defense to be good. I mean, like I always said, Peyton Manning. It's a good example of that Broncos team. Peyton Manning was not elite. He was just replacement level okay. But that defense cruised them into the Super Bowl.
hmm
You don't have to be elite. You just have to be good enough. Defenses can win Super Bowls, in my
yeah.
opinion.
There's multiple ways to win a championship. Like that's been my theme of the year. It's like there's not one formula. It's like every year there's a new recipe of how a team's going to win it. And I mean, like last year it seemed like the offense was kind of winning the day. This year it seems like we're back to like elite defenses being the way to go. I mean, the Patriots have the defense to stay in this game. It's just can this offense do anything against number one rated defense in the NFL?
Yeah, that's gonna be
Like
a good. That's gonna be a
that's
good
where
question.
this game's gonna be won.
That's gonna be won and lost. Like I said, this defense right over here in this game, indeed. And now we got the Seattle Seahawks, the revenge game right over here. The team that wants to get their revenge right now because Marshawn, they did not give the ball to Marshawn, even though I think they did make the right choice. But 9 times out of 10, it's like kind of like poker, where it's like, man, I had a 3 of a kind, but that person got a full house. Like 9 times out of 10, you win your cards.
Mhm.
But Seattle, I mean, just for the fans, I should say. I don't think there's any players that are left from that Legion of Boom era. I think they're all gone. They're probably on the great retirement or on another team. Or you're Richard Sherman and you're doing Amazon Prime sportscasting right now.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking Seattle's probably going to win this game. And I think if you got to have Seattle to win this game, I think honestly you got to have the good defense. You got to have Sam Darnold. Do not have pressure under Sam Darnold. That's the 2 reasons you can win this game.
Yeah, I mean, and the nice thing for them is I think the Patriots almost have to play a perfect game, where I think Seattle's talented enough to get away with more mistakes. So it's like if Sam Darnold throws an interception, it stinks, but I don't think it's the end of the world with their defense. So I think that's where the biggest advantage is. I think there's like a far wider margin for error with Seattle. It's like
Yes.
Seattle's got the better wide receivers. Seattle's got, solid running backs, the better defense. So it's like it's hard to find too many spots where you'd give a strong advantage to New England right now.
Yes. But I will say, if Sam Darnold does win the Super Bowl, I feel like this is like a victory event, not like a vengeance, but like a redemption story right over here. The lovable underdog. Everyone cast him off. The Jets cast him off. The Panthers cast him off. Hell, like the 49ers cast him off. You know what I mean? The,
Mm-hmm.
the Viking. I mean, I want to say this. Who's going to be more or the Viking fans going to be so salty about this if Sam Darnold holds Lombardi?
Um, I mean, possibly to some extent. I mean, the Vikings have fired their general manager, which is a little bit surprising. Like, I'm wondering if that was partly because of his decision here with JJ over Sam Darnold. Um, so I mean, there very well might be a piece of that puzzle there. I think there will definitely be some saltiness. I mean, even as fun as it was to see Stafford win Lombardi, you're still like, oh, that could have been us. There's always that kind of feeling of like frustration when you see one of your good players take the team to a Super Bowl, especially when it's your quarterback. But I mean,
Yeah,
ultimately,
I
though,
mean,
I don't think Sam Darnold made the Vikings a Super Bowl contender this year. I mean, they probably would have been better, but I mean, Seattle also has an elite defense, and like, granted, maybe the Vikings could have. They also have a good defense and like a very similar recipe. But I mean, it's hard to say. But there's definitely going to be some people in Minnesota are definitely going to wonder what could have been. No doubt about that.
I definitely do agree that I feel like the Vikings might have had a shot and done.
Well, I
Maybe
mean, they
could have
somehow
done a little bit
finished
better.
9-8 with pretty subpar quarterback play. So
Yeah, I just think they need better quarterback play, or JG needs to upgrade his skills right there. Yeah, I mean,
mm-hmm.
like honestly on that one. But honestly, yeah, I feel like this is gonna. Oh, we should do a gun to your head. Will this be a good Super Bowl, or is this gonna suck like last year?
um, I mean, I will say yes. I think it'll be closer than most people expect. Like I think Seattle wins probably by like 10, but I think they make it 10 late, if that makes sense. Like I think it's like hovers around a 1-score game. Maybe Seattle goes up by 10, New England makes it back down to 7. Like I think we're gonna keep hovering around like that like 3 to 10 point lead for Seattle. Like I think Seattle will be comfortable, but I think there'll at least be some optimism that the Patriots can make it close late.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a close game right over here. I think actually I might go 5. I think it's gonna be a close one. I think it's gonna be neck and neck in this game. I definitely don't think a blowout. I definitely don't think it's going to be like last year's Super Bowl where it was just a blowout and it was just like completely bad right over there. I think probably Seattle does win it and they do this, but there is a part of me I'm like, there's like maybe like a 60% odds that I think Seattle. You simulate this game, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots somehow pull this and just win it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's two things. I think there's consistent doubt on the strength of the Patriots schedule and like what happens when they play somebody. But there's also the doubt of like, can Sam Darnold like keep doing it? Like, can he keep doing enough? Because it's like that's all the Seattle needs. They need a solid game from Sam Darnold. But we've seen those 4 turnover horrendous games where he cost his team's games too. And the
Yeah,
Patriots do have a defense capable of rattling Sam Darnold.
I mean, I do agree. They definitely do have a chance to rattle Sam Darnold, but like we'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is gonna be an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it, Douglas? We got a quick podcast, and look at that. That is it for this week's podcast right over here. We got a quickie. We did a quickie podcast right over here. Do you have any final thoughts, Douglas, on this?
I mean, I wish we would have gotten Chris's scores here, but I assume he would say the same.
I think you
No
probably
real
would.
final thoughts. I mean, no.
I'm hoping for a good Super Bowl, good meals. I'm also excited that Bad Bunny's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. I don't know if you ever heard some Bad
I've
Bunny.
heard that there's some drama with it. There's an alternative Super Bowl party with Kid Rock and some more country-based artists I've seen as well.
So dumb. Can we
It,
just like
it's pretty dumb. I mean, we're definitely very. It shows how divided we are when they're doing stuff like that. But
yeah? And I'll tell you the secret. And I agree with like Andrew Schultz. He has it. It's all about the money. Follow the money is the simplest answer. You know why? Because Bad Bunny's the biggest artist right now, and that's why they're doing it. You know, why did Sydney Sweeney do those jeans ads? To make money.
money
Duh.
makes the world go round, Stu.
Follow the money. That will make it. But anyway, Douglas, that is pretty much it for this week. So next week, we're going to be discussing the Super Bowl. And we're going to do the final report card on all the teams that didn't make it to the playoffs, which including my Cowboys, your Lions, Douglas, and the Cleveland Clownies.
All right.
And we'll probably start with that one, and that's going to be fun. And then after that, then 2 weeks, we're going to not in 2 weeks, we'll probably talk about the teams that made it to the postseason, including the team that won the Super Bowl and the team that lost the Super Bowl, and we're going to do our final thoughts. So, as always, I'm going to catch you later, Mr. Gator. So, as always, take care. Bye-bye.